One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. Texas Tech Athletic Director and College Football Playoff Selection Committee Chair Kirby Hocutt is our guest today on One Question. Kirby, I actually want to start by asking a question about the latter of those two roles first. And when you learned that you'd be taking over the chair role from Arkansas AD Jeff Long, did you have a sit-down conversation with your executive team, with your leadership staff, and say, okay, guys, with this new responsibility, I'm going to need to offload X to Chad Weiberg, your deputy AD, or Y and Z to other members of your senior team, and I'm going to need more help on this front or that front? Or because you had already been a part of the committee, was that simply implied? Did you even have to have that conversation in a direct manner, or your allocation of bandwidth, if you will, was it already in place given your previous duties on the committee? What was that conversation really like?
Well, Matt, appreciate you doing this, and appreciate all your hard work and what you do to facilitate sharing and conversations throughout our profession. So thank you for what you do. And it's a true honor and privilege to serve on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. And as you mentioned, having been a member of the committee last year, had a chance to fully engage. And as you know, and all my counterparts know, we don't do these jobs by ourselves. You have to have great teams around you, and I'm very fortunate to have a great leadership team around me at Texas Tech. And Chad Weiberg is our deputy athletics director and just does a tremendous job leading our day-to-day business. And he did that last year when I was a member of the selection committee. And it's a significant time commitment to focus the time and energy that we do during the college football season. It's a significant time commitment, but we all knew that when we accepted this appointment. So what's changed with the chair? Obviously, we haven't had our first meeting this season yet. We meet in 18 days from today. And the change for me with being the chair will be obviously facilitating and leading the meetings, but I think the additional time commitment will be on the communications and media side. I think the commissioners and Bill Hancock have done a tremendous job in the processes they've established for the CFP. And one of those is the only committee members that speak. The only one is the chair, and then Bill Hancock is the executive director. So that commitment will require me to stay in Dallas additional time, as well as additional time commitments throughout the course of the year with all the media interviews. But, we've got a great external operations contact here at Texas Tech, Robert Giovanetti, and he's been a tremendous help coordinating with Gina Leahy with the CFP and handling the media component. So great team here. Welcome the additional responsibilities, of course, and look forward to meeting on a weekly basis here in 18 days.
Another topic, Kirby, that has been prevalent for fundraisers in the state of Texas over the last couple of years, whether it be you guys in West Texas or the folks at A&M or Texas or Chris and his team at TCU and others, is the performance and price of oil in the state. Texas is the largest producer of oil in the United States. Prices yesterday of crude were around 50.50, I think, up from maybe low 40s back in August when it really bottomed out, but certainly a long way from 140 back in 2008, 110 back in mid-2012. What are some real examples for you all, Kirby, on how, and the oil industry is not just pumping it out of the ground, of course. There's all these subsidiary businesses that handle the refining, the shipping, I don't even know what else, but it's a significant enterprise. What are some real examples of how that's impacting you guys raising money for the Red Raiders?
Well, it's just what you said, Matt. Oil is such a important commodity in the state of Texas, but especially in West Texas. We live right beside the Permian Basin. We talk a lot about the the presence that we have in Dallas, Fort Worth. That's where so many of our alumni live, as well as in the Houston market. But outside those two areas, Midland, Odessa is such a great supporting community for Texas Tech, and oil and gas is the engine that drives that community. And we've got so many passionate and loyal supporters that when that commodity goes through the challenging times as it currently is, it proposes challenges. And, the challenges that they face with their livelihood and the volatility of that market is much greater than the challenges we face as intercollegiate athletics and maintaining that support. And I think, those that are more familiar with the history of oil and gas than I am, reference history and the many times that they've seen the challenging times like we're going through now, and also experiencing the peak markets, as you said. So, it's real life, and it has an effect on our loyal fan base. But I use the word loyal because those individuals have supported us through the good times and the bad times, and we're going to continue to do all we can to show our appreciation for them. So for the past 5 years, we've taken a spring football practice, and we've gone to Midland, Odessa. And we're going to do that in the good times, and we're going to do that in the challenging times, and we're going to continue to have our special events and take our coaches down to Midland and Odessa because it's a great Red Raider community. So just what you mentioned, it's a changing time and market, and it's one that we follow very closely. I've told people that I'm probably one of a handful of athletics directors out there that welcomes paying $4 a gallon for gas.
Do you all track those prices? I mean, is that something you're truly looking at daily, or somebody internally is going, hey, oil was up a couple bucks this week and here's what I'm reading about it, or do you just get enough of it given where you're at in the news cycle?
Well, those are our friends, right? Those are our friends and supporters that we talk to, each week. And when you build the relationships that are established through fundraising, it becomes much greater than fundraising. When you build the relationships that develop in this business because of a mutual interest in intercollegiate athletics, it builds relationships that become much greater than intercollegiate athletics. And, so it's a weekly basis that we talk to our friends. I talk to our friends and supporters that are in that industry. And so it's something we follow on a very consistent basis.
We talked college football on a macro scale with your responsibilities with the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. At the very micro level of it, or the game day micro level of it, Kirby, and you guys have West Virginia. I think you have West Virginia tomorrow.
That's correct.
How do you watch games when the ball kicks? Where are you physically? How do you prefer to engage with what's going on in the field? Is that in the box, on the field? What's your usual style on game day?
Well, first, I love college football. As a former player and, somebody who grew up just wanting to play it at the highest levels, I don't think there's anything better than the fall. And I enjoy watching the game from the press box level. It allows me to see the full field. It allows me to see what's happening. Field level, your angles are not the best, and I don't prefer that. So for me, I like to get as high as I possibly can. I like to watch it from the press box where you can see the full field. You can see the schemes and what's happening up front on the line of scrimmage, and as well as on the perimeter. So that's my preference, is always be as high as I can.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.